Hello, my name is Dermot McConkey of Dermot McConkey Development and Training. Regularly we talk to business people about new business ideas, and I'm about to talk to Harold Macmillan from Moneystones Financial Advisors about their new additional voluntary contribution scheme. Harold, thanks very much for coming in today. I gather you have the additional voluntary contribution scheme for members of the fire brigade. Do you want to tell us what exactly that means, or what's that all about?
I've been entrusted by SIPTU and Impact to talk to members, from firemen right the way through to station officers, about AVCs, additional voluntary contributions, and how they could possibly help them boost their retirement pension.
Okay, so can you tell me, how does an AVC actually work?
AVCs, additional voluntary contributions, mean exactly what they say. They're additional to your existing superannuated pension scheme. They're voluntary. It's up to you to make the contributions, and the contributions go to top up your pension at retirement whenever it comes to hang up your hat, so to speak. There's another important point I want to highlight. There's two ways of boosting your pension. One is through notional service, where you can go to the department and get buyback added years. And essentially what that means is, if you're short years at retirement, this is a way of filling that gap. And that works very well along with AVCs, additional voluntary contributions, which will take up a slack between what you'll get from a superannuated pension scheme and what the revenue would allow you under revenue rules.
So I gather tax relief is an important part of AVCs. How does one qualify for tax relief?
Very straightforward. Once you make a contribution into the AVC, the pension company issues a certificate which you send into the revenue, and they adjust your tax-free allowances and your tax credits accordingly. In some cases, if you're doing a lump sum contribution for the previous tax year, you'll actually get a cheque back from the revenue, which is very nice to get.
And how does the revenue look on PRSA AVCs as such?
Very favourably. Essentially, there are two ways. The revenue, they see where the money is going to start with, and they also know that in the future you'll be much more able to look after yourself in retirement than being dependent on the state. Your main pension scheme is very good, but the revenue are happy to let you top up with additional contributions.
Would there be an ideal time as such, Harold, to put money into an AVC?
Any time is the best time to take out an AVC. I'd recommend everyone should actually have one. For the younger members, it'll be simply a case of putting a small monthly contribution away on a regular basis. For more senior members, perhaps with 5-6 years to go, they may want to look at putting a lump sum in, perhaps sometime during the year, and getting the tax back from the previous year. It's always good to get something back from the revenue.
Right. I suppose one thing that's crossing my mind is this a very complicated process to go through? I mean, how would one calculate exactly what their capacity was for an AVC?
It's a very straightforward calculation, Dermot. Essentially, the simplest thing to do is get a letter from your wages section which states your last 10 years salary and your last 10 years non-superannuated pay. Then we can meet up, do the calculations, and figure out what exact capacity you have to do an AVC. There are people who have overtime, on-call allowances and such like, which will have a bigger capacity than those who don't do as much overtime, but everybody can and should do an AVC.
Fine. Well, Harold, thanks very much for giving us all that information. If somebody wanted to find out more information, who do they contact? Do they contact their own people, or do they contact you? How does it actually work?
My contact details are on moneystones.ie and also in all the stations. And it's very straightforward. I can call to the station to go through the details with you for a chat, or I can call to your home, whichever you feel most comfortable with. It'll cost you nothing to have a chat, and you'll be amazed how much it could cost you if you don't have that chat.
Harold, thanks very much for talking to us today. Well, there you have it. It seems that an additional voluntary contribution effectively is deferred salary. You defer some of your salary now to get a better salary when you pack it all in. The advice seems to be, check it out with Harold at least. It will cost you nothing to have a chat with this man. It could cost you a fortune if you don't. Thank you for watching today.